Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Frisch Perspective Live. And I'm already having some technical issues with my sound. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments. I don't have a producer, and so I'm always very nervous doing this sort of thing because I never know exactly if I'm doing it correctly. But let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. Looks like we got people watching, and let me know where you're watching from, too. Good to see we got Peter from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Welcome to the show. We've also got David from St. Petersburg, Florida. And I think he's saying go Rays. 13 to nothing? So I guess you're saying that the Tampa Bay Rays are winning 13 to nothing. Is what it sounds like. I'm not watching the baseball scores right now, so that is news to me, but that's great to hear. All right, good. I'm getting feedback that you can hear me. That's good. That's success. I'm also a little experimenting here. Normally, I have a guest on my program. Today, I'm going to be doing a Bible giveaway. That's the main thing I'm here to do, and it's also an AMA. And I put that because I actually have kind of a double meaning there. My audience can ask me questions, but I'm actually going to be asking the audience questions. So AMA also stands for Ask My Audience. I'm going to ask you guys some questions today that will tie in with the Bible giveaway. So stay tuned for that, but I'm just letting more people come in here. We've got, I don't know if I mentioned this, David from Columbus, Ohio. I better take my banner off too because, like I said, I don't have a producer, so I'm a little all over the place here. But thank you for your patience with me. Good to see you, Jason, from West Virginia. So a lot of people in a lot of different places. We've got Wisconsin represented here. Wow, great to see. Even Washington, way out on the West Coast. I'm always unsure the best time to do these live streams. Depending on when I do them, I catch certain people because obviously it's 3 o'clock Eastern time as I've started this, and there are people still at work where I live. But then if you're talking about other parts of the world, they're done with work. They're in the evening, and some of you it's probably lunchtime. So really good to see you here. So this Bible giveaway that I'm doing today is really going to be unique. It's going to be really for the people that are on this live stream. And I'm doing it differently than I've ever done it before, and I'm hoping I can explain this well. First of all, I don't have a particular Bible that I've decided to give away. I'm actually going to let the winner email me, and we'll talk about which Bible I'll send to you, a translation of your choice. So that's going to be the winner will email me, and the winner of this Bible giveaway will email me at afrishperspective@gmail.com. So how do you win this Bible? So this is where it's going to be an experiment and kind of unique. What I'm going to do in this live stream is ask my audience questions. And if you guys have questions, I saw someone did have a question in the comments. That's fine too. I'll try to answer some questions. But I want to ask you questions, and the way we're going to do this is I'll keep track of the comments, and the first person to answer the question correctly gets a point. And I've got 10 questions here for the audience. And so if you are the first to answer correctly, you can guess, by the way. If you don't know the answer, just take your best guess. I don't expect everybody's going to know the answer to these questions, but some of them have to do with my channel. And so it's kind of a quiz for the audience just to see how you would answer these questions. And so the first person to answer gets a point. I'll ask 10 questions. Whoever gets the most points, I will declare them the winner. And then I will have the winner email me at afrishperspective@gmail.com, and I will work out the details with them to get them a Bible. So that's how we're doing this, and I'll probably explain explain this again as we go along here, because I think more people are going to be popping in as we go along, and I know that they're going to be wondering what's going on. So I see we got a good amount of people in here, and someone's already answering that the answer is C. These are actually not going to be multiple choice questions. You're going to actually have to answer with the best answer you can come up with. So, again, for anybody just joining us, Bible giveaway today is going to be a Bible that I will announce a winner on the live stream, and I will work out with the winner which Bible to send to them. But the way to be the winner on this live stream is to be the person to answer the most questions correctly, and you have to be the first person to answer correctly to get the point. And I have my my notebook here ready to write down who's answering and who gets the questions correct. So with that, I think I think we're ready to start these questions. And I know I see someone here saying that they're a slow typer. I am too. Again, if you try to answer these questions, just do your best. You can take a guess at these, and you don't have to write a sentence. You can just write a short and sweet answer. Actually, that's preferable. So here's the first question. This is kind of like the question to get us going here. Take your best guess at this if you don't know. And I'm going to check the comments and see who answers this correctly first. So the first question for my audience is, what year did I start this channel, A Frisch Perspective? What year did I start the YouTube channel, A Frisch Perspective? Now, you can go back and see if you can figure it out, but it looks like someone already answered and they got it right already. Wow. Okay. Someone wants a Bible. That was Hal Scott answered correctly. So I'm going to write your name down, Hal. And that is correct. It is 2018 is the correct answer as to when I started this channel. Some people guessed some other answers. Those are great guesses. And by the way, it's fine for you to guess the answers. So good job, Hal. You got it correct. And I'm wondering if you knew that 100% or if you just took a good guess. But that was the correct answer. A Frisch Perspective. This channel has been on YouTube since 2018. It was actually August of 2018 that I started this channel. All right, there's 10 questions here. So first person to answer gets the point. So do your best in the comments, and you all have a chance here to win a Bible. So the next question is, what was the first book that I talked about? Now, this may not even be answered at all. I'm not sure if anybody, but I'm just putting this out there to see if anybody has any idea. I actually talked about a book in my first videos. So this is a real, I know, a guess, and I see someone saying Bible. That's a good guess. It's actually not the Bible. There was actually a book written by a Christian author, and I did some videos just to kind of kick off my channel on this. And again, I'm sure someone could go back, if they're really quick, and go back to the first videos. They might be able to figure it out. But someone guessed the the Purpose-Driven Life. That was not it. Case for Christ, I see his answer. No, that was not it. Good guesses, though. It is a book that was actually written by, I think this author is from the Church of England, very well-known author and evangelistic. And he has a book that talks about just some foundational truths about Christianity. So those are the hints. I'll give you guys a little bit more time, but I'm seeing some good guesses here. We've got Mere Christianity. Those are good guesses. I see a couple people there. That wasn't it, but very good guess. And Martin Lloyd-Jones, someone guessed. That is Church of England. The author Should I give you a little more time? Someone's probably going back right now through my channel history trying to find out what book it was. These are really good guesses. I do see, since I mentioned an author from the Church of England, we got someone from the UK saying hello to us. Donald in the UK, great. And someone from Missouri here. All right, we finally got the right answer from Isaac. I don't know if Isaac went back and looked this up, but that is actually the correct answer. It was Basic Christianity by John Stott. So if you were to go back to my first videos, you would actually go back to 2018. That's when my channel started. And you would find some videos on Basic Christianity by John Stott. So I'm going to write down Isaac. He gets that question. He gets the point for that question. So in case you're just joining us, I'm doing a Bible giveaway based on whoever gets the most points on this quiz that I'm giving to my audience. So I put in the title AMA, which is, it's actually standing for Ask My Audience. And I will let people ask me questions if they'd like to ask questions too. But I'm going to be asking you guys questions today. And so far, this experiment is going pretty well. I'm getting really good participation and answers. So, third question. The third question, and I would think a lot of you who watch regularly will know the answer to this. The third question is, what are my top 2 translations? When I tell people on this channel 2 of my favorite translations, I repeat the same ones. I'm pretty sure if anybody's paid attention and listened to me for a while, they know which top 2 translations. All right, so we got some good answers, but the first one that is correct is I believe Red here. He said the NKJV and the CSB. And by the way, I'm doing my best to pay attention to the comments. If you think I've picked the wrong person, let me know. But I think Red had it correct first. He gets the point for that question. It is the NKJV and CSB are the 2 translations that I say are kind of my top 2 translations. I like to have one that's more traditional and more literal, more of a historic translation. So the NKJV fits that description, and then the CSB is something that's more modern, more contemporary English and most recent scholarship. And so I think those 2 complement each other very well and are good representatives of 2 different types of translations, but both very good translations. So very, very good. Good job, Red. I can tell you've been watching my channel, paying attention. And by the way, I see other people got the answer right, but I'm giving the point to whoever I see gets it right first. So we're going to go now to the fourth question. All right, and I see it says Chad got it correct technically, and I just want to go back up here in my comments. Oh, okay. Did I? No, I see on my comments on my end it says Red was first. So I'm hoping that what I'm seeing is in the order that you guys are giving these comments. But I think Red had it first. All right, fourth question. Now this is more personal stuff, just to see if you kind of know some of the personal details that I think I've shared on my channel some. But do you know what state I live in? I want to see if the audience knows what state do I live in. All right, now the comments are a little delayed. It's you know, as I'm recording this, it's live streamed and it takes some time for everybody to hear. But all right, comments are rolling in. I see people guessing all kinds of things here. All right, so the question was, what state do I presently live in? And the first person that I see here that has it correct, first person on my end that I see here who has it correct, is Jason. He said that I live in New Hampshire. That is correct. That is correct. Now, I didn't know that that the audience was going to be so diverse today, that we were going to have so many different people with correct answers. We may end up with a tie, and I might have to do a tie-breaking question with those who have points. So we'll see what happens as we get toward the end here. But that's actually where I presently live, is New Hampshire. And there were other people who said that as well, but Jason's the first that I saw. And some people guessed some other Northeast states: Vermont, Massachusetts. Close. Pennsylvania. I think someone mentioned New Jersey. New Jersey is actually where I was born. That's where I was originally from, but I live presently in New Hampshire. Okay. Now, in case anybody's just tuning in, we're now, I think, on the 5th question, and I'm giving points to the first person who answers these questions correctly, and whoever gets the most points will be able to claim a Bible that I'm going to be giving away, and the winner will email me at afreshperspective@gmail.com. So to win this Bible, you really do have to be watching this live stream, but I thought this would be a fun way to interact with all of you. And I'm really enjoying these answers that everybody's giving. By the way, great to see Grandma Joe just joined us. Hello to you. Great to have you here with us. She's been a guest on my channel before a couple times, I think, and so great to have you here with us, Grandma Joe. All right, so I see we got people ready to answer these questions. Another personal question. So I think a lot of people know that I'm married and have children, but here is the question: how many children do my wife and I have? How many children do my wife and I have? Now, again, you can guess. I won't be offended if you guess wrong. It's just the first person to put the correct answer. If it was a total guess, that's fine. But how many children? All right, the first answers that I'm seeing are 2s and 3s. I can tell those are guesses. I like this one answer: 5 daughters. I actually, that's kind of the closest. That's kind of the closest. A couple of people said 5. Okay, I think I see the first correct answers from David. He guessed 6, or he knew that it was 6, and that is correct. So that's yet another person to get a point. So we may have to do a tiebreaker with all these people who get 1 point. But I have 6 children. It's actually 4 daughters, 2 boys, 2 sons. Not in that order. I had son, daughter, daughter. But altogether, 2 sons, 4 daughters. So 6 children. Good job, David. You got that correct. I don't know if he was guessing. If he was, it was a good guess. See at least one person here who guessed more than that. We do have a lot of children, but it's 6. It's no more than 6. All right. Now this should be, I think, a relatively easy question to answer. I could be wrong though, but I definitely talk about my baseball team that I like on my channel. So that's the next question. And I think this is going to be question number 6. What's my favorite baseball team? What is my favorite baseball team? And I will give you one hint. It's not the hat that I'm wearing right now. All right. So, all right. Wow, you guys are so fast. I can't believe how fast you are. I can tell people really want to win this Bible. All right. The first one that I see here is Paul. That is correct. It's the Phillies. I mean, I'm going to give it to you, even though the S isn't on the end there. Because you were in a rush. You wanted to be the first one to get this correct. But it is the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, my dad's favorite team is actually the LA Dodgers, and one of my viewers on my channel sent me this hat from California. So I like this hat. My dad certainly likes this hat. But my favorite baseball team is the Philadelphia Phillies. So yet another person to have 1 point. Well, this is going really well, and the viewers actually are increasing as we go along. So for anybody who is just joining us, you still have a chance to win a Bible. I'm going to be announcing a winner on this live stream, and the winner that I announce can email me at afreshperspective@gmail.com, and I will work out the details with the winner on which Bible I'll be sending them. Try to work out a translation of your choice. All right, so that's how we're doing it today, and the way to win is to be the person who answers the most questions correctly, and in order to get a point, in order to get credit for answering the question correctly, you have to be the first person in the comments to answer correctly. So you get a point if you answer first in the comments. You answer the question correctly first. All right, I'm not explaining that very well, but on the last question, I was asking what my favorite baseball team was, and I got a lot of different answers actually. But in case you didn't hear it, it's the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, the next question. It's kind of going back to the fact that I have a large family. We have 6 children, and now some of our children are actually they're getting out of the house now, so our family's actually downsizing some. But we did have an unusual vehicle that we've had for a couple years or a few years, and it's possible you've seen a video where I've talked about this. And so I want to know in the audience, do you know what unusual car does my family own? What unusual car does my family own? Now, someone just answered hearse. It's close. It's not a hearse. That's a good that's a good guess. Station wagon. Someone answered. That's a good guess. It's not a station wagon. I see people saying wagon, hearse. Close. There might even be a reason why people might guess hearse. But if I had a hearse, even though it'd be a large vehicle, I couldn't really fit my children in there. They actually do all have seats. It's not a wagon, and the other hint I'll give you, it's not a van. So you can guess if it, and I'm not seeing anybody. My brother is in the comments. You can comment, Alan. It's fine if you're the one who knows, because nobody else seems to be getting it correctly. So I think I do see it actually. The first person who I see get it correctly, and that's his second point, I believe. Am I right on that, Jason? Is limo. It's actually a Lincoln Town Car limousine that has 9 seats altogether. So it actually fits our whole family. We used to have a van, but I actually wanted something that wasn't as big as our van. We were starting to downsize a little bit, and it turned out that a funeral home, this might be why you guys were guessing hearse, a funeral home was selling a limousine, and it didn't have a lot of miles on it, and it was for a really good price. So we bought a Lincoln Town Car limousine. It's a 1999, and it only had 6,000 miles on it when we bought it a couple years ago. So that's the correct answer, is limo. All right, I think we are 7 questions in already, so we've got 3 more questions to go. And by the way, the winner of that last one ended up not being my brother. He was nice enough to wait, but Jason got that correct. So I think Jason now is in the lead, and he's got 2 points. So you guys still have a chance to win. All right, this is going well. I think. All right, someone's telling me it's the wrong person. If in the comments you think I got the wrong person, if someone else said limousine first, I can go back and see. Oh, okay, I do see. Maybe Kevin said lemos, which might mean limousine. But I'm still going to give the point to Jason. because I think the reason my eye caught his is because it was spelled correctly, and I'm sorry about that, but I think Jason had the best answer there. All right, so that's my judgment call on that one. All right, so three more questions here. All right, so the eighth question is about where I'm teaching. I'm actually teaching at a Christian college, and if anybody's just joining us, I'm giving points to whoever answers these questions first. So the eighth question is, what Christian college do I teach at part-time? I actually teach music classes, and some of the music type classes that I teach are about worship and get into theology as well. But they're basically music classes at a Christian college. No, Alan, it is not Notre Dame University. I don't live anywhere near there. So I see some guesses here, and feel free to guess. Liberty, this is a guess. Gordon Conwell, both good guesses. Not actually where I teach. I actually graduated from the Liberty University online program with a Master of Divinity, and I graduated from Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary with a Doctor of Ministry, but I have not, as of yet, taught at either of those institutions. All right, so someone's guessing one in New Hampshire. I will say this is a very small college, so it's maybe something that a lot of you have never even heard of. But I'll give you a little bit more time here to see if you can figure out. All right, someone's got it. The first one that I see correct. Now, I know some people are going to say at times maybe I miss someone, and I'm doing my best. So it's kind of one of those things where the first person I see getting the correct answer, this is my best judgment call. It's Gabriel. Gabriel Perez said NEBC. So Gabriel, you get a point for that. That is correct. It's Northeastern Baptist College. I'm teaching part-time music classes at Northeastern Baptist College. Great job. All right, and a lot of great guesses as well. All right, we're getting there. We're almost done with our competition here for the Bible giveaway. Good to see all these people watching. Thank you for joining. We got a couple more questions that I'm going to ask, and whoever gets the most points wins. You get a point if you're the first person to answer correctly in the comments. And actually, there's still a chance to win, even if you just joined us, because the person who has the most points right now is Jason. And whoever wins is going to email me at afreshperspective@gmail.com. But let's do these last two questions. All right, so if you've been watching my channel, I've had one particular guest on my channel more than any other person as a guest. So can you tell me in the comments who is the guest I've had on the most? No, it's not John MacArthur. Someone who's actually been on my channel. All right, the first one that I see, and I see good guesses here, but it's this user, It's Just Kate, said Dear Woke Christian. That's actually his channel. It's Jason Whitaker. So Kate gets the point for that because she's the first one that I saw. Some good guesses. Tim Wildsmith, he has been on my channel a few times. But Jason Whitaker, if you go back and you look at my past videos, we got on weekly for a good part of a year at least, I would say. So he's been on my channel a lot, and his channel is Dear Woke Christian. He was on my channel even before he started his channel. But I'm going to give that to It's Just Kate, because that is correct. All right, and good guesses on all of these. All right. Okay, we got one more question. I think everybody's enjoying this. I'm certainly seeing a lot of participation. So let's see if anybody can tie up with Jason, because Jason has 2 points. This is your chance to tie it up with him. I think people are going to know the answer to this last one, so it's really just going to be a race to see who can type it first. All right, so I've got my mug here, and it says, of course, my channel name here. Try not to spill it. A Frisch Perspective. Now, here's the question. The final question is, what does Frisch mean in English? It's a German word, but what does Frisch, the German word, mean in English? It is my last name, yes. All right, Bible's on a budget. I'm going to give you the point. Great job. It actually does mean fresh. That is correct. All right. Well, that is good because that actually, and I see a lot of people got that answer correct. Even Jason got that correct. And Jason Marshall, I'm declaring you the winner because you actually got 2 points previous to that question, and you got that question correct. So I think Jason really got a lot of them correct, and I would say you've merited the victory on this Ask My Audience quiz show. This has been a lot of fun doing this, and Jason, you can email me at afrischperspective@gmail.com. Jason Marshall, he's going to email me. He's the winner. In case anybody's just tuning in, I've announced the winner is Jason Marshall, and he's going to email me, and I will work out with him which Bible to send him. All right, so that's all the questions that I have for my audience. If you have any other questions that you want to ask me, one other question that I do want to put out there for the audience today, it's not really a quiz question, it's just something since I have you on here and you are watching, my question for you is, what are some topics that you're interested in? And if you bring up a topic, it's something that I can kind of keep in mind for future videos or maybe future guests to have on my channel. But are there any topics that are really just burning topics for the audience? Any topics that you guys are interested in? Now, I did see a question early on in the comments, and I don't know if it's still there, but the question that someone was asking me at the very beginning of the broadcast was, which translation really most accurately portrays the intent of the author, I think is the way that they asked that question. Which translation most accurately portrays the intent of the original author? And I just want to answer that question right now in the best way that I can, and just say, I think when it comes to the intent of the author, there are a couple things about going from one language to another that we have to keep in mind. And the first thing is that there are the words we use, and then there are the expressions of the language. The words and also the expressions. So some translations do a really good job of getting the words across. And I'm going to actually show you an example here of a translation that's known for getting the words across. But I think what you'll see in this is it lacks the expression. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the wording, kind of that literal wording, some translations are better, and then other translations are more good at giving the expression. Because let's face it, in every language we have ways we express ourselves that just don't translate well from one language to another. So I'm going to show you the Legacy Standard Bible, because as everyone knows, that's a very literal translation, and I was just looking at this recently. It's 1 Samuel 17, verses 29 and 30. David is answering his oldest brother, Eliab, who's chided him for coming to the battle and asking about Goliath. But David said in verse 29, "What have I done now? Was it not just a word?" Then he turned away from him to another and said the same word. And the people responded to him with the same word as before. Now, I want to ask my audience, do you think that that is a good rendering? Does that seem like good English to you, or what do you think about that? In my opinion, I think that in this case it's gotten to be a little bit too literal, because just looking at that, David saying, was it not just a word? He turned away from him to another and said the same word, and the people responded to him with the same word. I mean, it's just repeating word over and over, which in the original language might make sense, but in English, I think it's really losing something. So I think that's a case of, being overly literal. I'm going to show you, though, the New American Standard Bible 95, what it does with this. It gives footnotes that literally, I think, would say word here, but it says, David said, "What have I done now? Was it not just a question?" Then he turned away from him to another and said the same thing, and the people answered the same thing as before. So a little less rigidly literal, but it has footnotes for those expressions. But I think in English, it's just far more clear and really, I think, gives the expression of the language much better. Now, I know that's a convoluted answer. Basically, what I'm saying is, it depends when it comes to that question of what gives the accurate representation of the author's intent. It depends if you're looking for the specific words, or if you're thinking about the expressions that are used in a language. I like a translation that is a little more balanced. I think the New King James is pretty balanced, and I think the Christian Standard Bible is pretty balanced. So again, that's one of the reasons I recommend those two. I think they're quite literal. The New King James is even more literal, but I think it's also good to hear the expressive aspect of a language, because when you translate from one language to another, you got your words, but you also have those expressive aspects of a language. So for example, figures of speech, and just when you pair words together, it doesn't always translate very easily from one language to another. So I can't really say if there's one translation that really does it better than anything else. I think the truth is you need multiple translations in order to really get a sense of what the original language was saying, because the original language just doesn't match up perfectly with English. That being said, I think that some great translations out there would be the New King James Version, the Christian Standard Bible, the English Standard Version, the New American Standard Bible. Those are some that I think do a very good job. The New International Version, that's going to be much more on that expressive side, but that can be very helpful to people. So those are some translations to compare. All right, and I do see that I think the person who asked that question said the LSB and the NASB, and Mary, you might be saying that those are true translations you like to use. Yeah, and the Legacy Standard Bible, as I showed you in that example, is very literal. But if you compare it to another translation, I think it can give you a good balance. I like the Legacy Standard Bible more for study purposes. All right. And then I like, yes, what my brother's saying here, when the intent is debatable, then a literal translation with good footnotes is the best way to go. Yes, good point. Because the truth is there can be sometimes debatable aspects to what an author is trying to communicate. Just like I'm trying my best to communicate right now with probably all English listeners, and yet even for me to communicate clearly can be a challenge. So that happens in every language. Sometimes things don't come across clearly. And so that's where the literal is a good way to kind of, if you're going to err on any side, err to the literal in those cases, perhaps. But footnotes as well, that can be really good. And also some translations will put, the translator's best rendering that they can come up with, and in the footnotes they'll put the literal, and that's another way of doing it. All right, so I know that's a common question with my channel. I saw someone put eschatology as a topic. That's always fascinating. I actually definitely want to talk about that topic in the future. No pun intended with that. But yes, I do want to talk about eschatology in the future on my channel. Talk about the future on my channel. All right. The eschatology is the study of the last things, end times. All right. Any other topics that people want to bring up before we go? This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody's patience with me. I don't have a guest this week. I hope to have one next week. And I hope this was interesting for you, just watching me by myself. But I do see someone recommending a video on how idioms are translated in different translations. And that's going along with what I was just talking about. I think that's a good point that, it's good actually if you look at different translations and see how they handle those idioms. Absolutely, that might be a good topic for a video, and I'm actually going to write that one down too. All right, I see we got Bible verse review in the comments. Great to see you, Nicholas. And Nicholas and I had a conversation on his channel last week, so go check that out. Go check out Bible verse review on his channel. We have a conversation with him, and we had just a lot of fun talking with together last week. So thank you, Nicholas. All right. Well, someone said keep reviewing Bibles. Absolutely, I will keep doing that. And the winner of today's Bible giveaway was Jason Marshall. I'll be giving a Bible to him and continuing to do Bible reviews on my channel. All right, and here's a topic that someone brought up. Why is the CSB outselling the ESV recently? I think I can answer that here, at least the best answer that I can give. The reason is that the sales that are kept track of really are just a snapshot. They're just showing you a moment in time. They're not necessarily showing you everything. So perhaps the Christian Standard Bible has come out with some new additions. And that would be one reason that the Christian Standard Bible might outsell the ESV. And by the way, the tracking system for keeping track of sales doesn't include every Bible that's sold in every place whatsoever. There's just certain outlets that are kept track of. I don't know which ones those are. I would imagine the biggest sellers of books would be like the primary sources for that information. But what I'm trying to say is those are estimates. So it's even possible that the ESV is still right on par with the CSB in sales. But yeah, based on some statistics, the CSB might be outselling the ESV recently. The best answer I can give is that it's probably just one of those things where the CSB has perhaps made a lot of sales on a certain edition they came out with that maybe made an uptick in sales for a window of time, temporary amount of time. We'd have to look over the course of several months and a year to see if that trend continued. And you want to always check what's the monthly sales versus the annual sales. And the monthly sales do fluctuate a lot more than the annual sales. So it's possible the CSB has had a good month, but that when you look at over the course of the year, the ESV is still overall up higher. And I think that probably is the case. The ESV is really way up there in sales. But again, the additions that come out of these different translations, let's say the CSB just came out with a children's Bible and people really wanted to buy their kids' Bibles. That happens. I know that the NIV Adventure Bible, I think it is one of the highest selling Bible editions. So that could be the kind of edition that gives an uptick in sales for a particular translation, like a children's Bible or some other edition that's popular. All right. Yeah, okay. Here's another question. Someone wants my opinion on, will the LSB outsail the NASB? I doubt it, but I could be wrong. I think that the NASB has had a lot more years of building up brand recognition. Of course, the LSB over time could theoretically build up that brand recognition, but I think it's highly perceived as being from a certain group. Um, so that's could possibly corner it in the market for a long time. And the Legacy Standard Bible, I don't even know if it's being sold. I mean, I am starting to see it actually on christianbook.com, for example, I think, and Amazon. So that's good. I think that'll help sales. But the NASB has really had a major head start in being widely distributed. So if they ever were to surpass them, I think it would take a long time. But I have my doubts as to whether that would happen. But I guess we just have to see. And also, those two translations are not the highest selling translations, so it's really hard to say. I mean, the highest selling translations would be like the New International Version, the English Standard Version, and the reason I believe that translations like that sell so well is because at the end of the day, most people just want something that is clear and understandable. Even the New Living Translation, I should add that in there, is really high up there right now. Why the New Living Translation? That's not even very literal, but people can read it and understand it. And so, I think the LSB would have a hard time surpassing the NASB, but I don't think it's ever going to be way up there in the translation list. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. Those are just my immediate thoughts. All right. Yeah, I see. We are getting some good questions here, and I'm not going to go on too long here because I don't want to bore the audience. But as long as people are asking some questions and people are interested, I can answer a little bit more. And I do see another question here about Bible translation. Which goes further on gender neutral decisions, the CSB or the NIV? And from my observation, the NIV would be more gender neutral, would actually be getting into the territory of what you might call gender neutrality versus just gender accuracy. The CSB makes a point of saying that they're just trying to be gender accurate, that they're only trying to convey the gender that the original author was trying to convey. And they may use a word that's gender neutral if the original author meant men and women. So good examples in the Old Testament, the author might have said literally blessed is the man, but the author might be speaking about people in general. So the CSB might say blessed is the one. But the CSB will go on to use masculine reference to that word, like his and him. Whereas the NIV will go on to use pluralized words to make sure they're not using anything masculine as a referent to that gender neutral word. So I would say the NIV goes even further with it. And the NIV in some cases may push the line a little bit. But at the same time, I don't want people to think that the NIV is, I think the NIV still is, when you're looking at the whole scope of Bible translations, it's still, very accurate. And it's I don't know. I think people can be too hard on the NIV, and I've done videos about that. But I don't think that the NIV is trying to be gender neutral in some sort of overly progressive way. But some people would disagree with me on that. I think the NIV, though, is just, pushing away from masculine-oriented language that they would see as being inaccurate in some way. But the CSB is less gender neutral. So Sorry, that wasn't a very clear answer, but those are my thoughts on that. All right. Yeah. Well, I think that's probably my brain is starting to I think fatigue a little bit here based on that last question and my inability to answer that very well, very clearly. But this has been really good. This went as well as I could have hoped. Great at the beginning of the broadcast to have all those answers to those questions, and great to hear some questions from the audience as well. I will have a live stream next Friday. That's my plan, and I hope to have a guest on with me. But one thing I asked the audience to keep in prayer, I want to just share this with all of you, is I'm actually going to be doing a missions trip from June 12th to July 2nd. So I'm giving my audience a heads up that I'm going to be gone for a few weeks, and I'm traveling to Kenya with a pastor friend of mine, and we're going to be doing ministry for 3 weeks in Kenya. And I'm sharing this with you partly so that you know why I'm gone, but also so that you could keep that in prayer, because I'm not like a huge traveler. I haven't done a ton of traveling, especially traveling to distant places like that. So I'd really appreciate prayers for the trip to Kenya. but but I did want to let you all know that that's the plan. Now I do see my brother suggesting, Alan is suggesting that I post lots of shorts. I really should do that. It's just because that's a new thing for me. I haven't really mastered that, but that is something I ought to really do more of. It's one of those things you kind of get in the habit of doing certain things and you get comfortable with it, and the idea of doing shorts is a good idea. I do reels on Instagram occasionally, so you can check out my Instagram, A Frisch Perspective, on Instagram, and that if you like that kind of content, that's where I'm posting more of that short type content presently. And thank you, Red, for praying for my missions trip. Really do appreciate that. I see other people saying that they'll be praying. Thank you all for your prayers. All right, well, thank you all for joining me today on this live stream. And I plan to be on next week live. And hopefully we'll have a guest on with us too, so that you don't have to just listen to me talk by myself the whole time. But I really did enjoy all of this interaction and your questions today. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time.